Hey, it's Dr. Karen Can, and in this LifeWave micro training, I'm going to share with you some ideas, some mini protocols around how to alleviate sinus symptoms, sinus pain, and nasal congestion. Now, there are lots of different ways you can use the patches. So today, I'm just going to let you know kind of like the common protocol that I use for these sorts of symptoms. And what you'll want to have with you are the ice wave patches. So these are the phototherapy patches that help with pain and inflammation. Now, even if you have congestion but no pain, these can be super helpful because they help to increase the flow of chi or energy through the area that you are patching. So we're going to be using this, and we're also going to be using the Eon patches. Now, LifeWave does not uh, claim to treat, cure, prevent, or mitigate any illness or condition. So we're working on these congestion or pain patterns that come with sinuses, allergies, congestion, things like that. So we'll be using this one for inflammation and stress relief, and then the energy enhancer patches for the actual support of the meridians that control the area of the lungs and the meridians that are related to sinus, which of course is lung meridian, right? So this is pretty simple. There's some fancier protocols, I am sure, but I just wanted to give you something really, really simple that you can use in a pinch. And I did use this when I had, oh gosh, it was so long ago, but the last time I had like cold kind of symptoms, I couldn't sleep because I was stuffy and, that kind of thing. And so I used this protocol and it helped me a lot. And in fact, did not have stuffiness the next day. So let's start with the ice wave. Now, the ice wave patches come in a white and a tan. You do need to use both colors for it to work the best. So when you open your package, you'll see that there is a divider in the center. And sometimes people miss that there's a divider. So take out one white patch and one tan patch. We're going to be using both. Now, I'm going to be using tape because I'm going to just tape these temporarily to my skin. So I'm not going to take the backings off. They still work that way, by the way. But when you figure out which works best for you, then you can take the backings off. Now I'm going to put the tape on the back of these so you can see what color I'm using. But it doesn't really matter, honestly, where you put the tape, front or back, doesn't really matter. The patch still works. And because they're phototherapy patch technology, you don't have to worry about something going into your body. It's drug free. And these are impermeable membrane. So it's using light to activate the body. And you can literally put them on clothing and they still work, you know. So, so I have a white in my right hand, is my right hand, tan in my left hand. Okay. And what's going to happen is that if you have congestion and or pain in these areas, this is called the maxillary sinuses. So this is your maxilla, this bone right here. These are your maxillary sinuses. So what you can do, and oftentimes this will be when you're home and not necessarily going to the grocery store, is you can put a white patch on the right and a tan patch on the left, like that. Again, I'm not taking the backings off, so you can really see them. They're very prominent. So white on right, tan on left. Now, if for whatever reason this makes the congestion worse, that means there's some reverse polarity going on, and then you could swap the colors if you wanted to see if that makes it better. Now, the wonderful thing is we're going to do a triangle protocol today. Now, of course, if people are really suffering, they don't really care whether they have patches on the face during the day, right? We're going to use the Eon patch for stress and inflammation right on the third eye area. So this is right between the two frontal sinuses. Now, the reason, yes, you're going to have to look at me while I'm talking, like with all these patches on my face. Now, the reason we use this protocol is a couple of reasons. One is that you are actually sending energy through the sinus area and through the nasal area where the congestion actually is. So this is like a localized patching. So you have maxillary sinuses here. You have frontal sinuses on either side. You have ethmoid sinuses in the back here. And then the sphenoid ones are kind of like in your head, but they're on either side behind the eyes. And you have mastoid ones here, but those usually don't cause pain or dysfunction in terms of congestion. But with congestion ones, you usually have the sinuses here. Now, if you want to, if this is for whatever reason doesn't work, say you have more like a sphenoid sinus congestion, it's hard to know because sometimes you just feel pressure in your head and it's not actually in your nose. It's actually in the ethmoid or sphenoid sinuses. Now, here's a trick. Hi, Rovel. You can actually put these on the temples. Okay. I guess this is a little bit more subtle. You could put like one of those 80s headbands on. You'll be all like, Ben Stiller and Zoolander, or anyway. So you can put them on the temples, and that will shoot the energy right through the ethmoid and sphenoid sinuses. And then, of course, your eons decrease inflammation, calm down that autonomic nervous system, which is swelling the area, right? That may help to decrease the swelling and decrease the pain and the pressure in this area. So this is your alternate. If you do not have a lot of nose congestion. So you can try either one. See which one works better. Kind of look like I have a colorful crown on, don't I? Yeah, maybe you can bejewel these. What do you think? Put jewels on them and then you can go to the grocery store. I always tell people, I said, if you're suffering from pain or whatever, just put them on. Like, who cares, what you look like at the grocery store? I mean, people have all sorts of facial decorations these days, right? So might as well put them on. And of course, if you're a distributor and you're selling them, the best way to, if somebody asks you what's on your head, you're like, oh, these are helping my sinuses. By the way, I sell these. All right. So why do we need the energy enhancers? Well, you don't need them. But the reason I'm including it in this protocol is because these patches on my face are localized, right? They're localized treatment of this area that's inflamed, that may be hurting, that's congested. Yeah, congested. Now, the energy enhancer patches, again, it's a white and a tan, so make sure you use both, not just one. And I'm going to put tape again on this, just so you could sort of see them. You're going to use white on the right, tan on the left. And what you're going to do is you're going to patch the channel, the lung meridian channel. Okay. So there's a couple of spots. The one in the brochure is a lung spot. So I'll put it over my clothing so you can see the contrast better, but of course it works right over clothing, right? So right in front of your shoulders, okay, is lung 1 and lung 2. You're pretty much treating both lung 1 and lung 2 here. One is more emotional. One is, well, they both work. So it doesn't really matter. Don't worry about it. Just put them there in front of your shoulder. So we are supporting the lung meridian. So we're looking at the foundational energy that may be contributing to this stuff. Okay. And you can put it on this lung meridian, supporting the lung energy while you're treating locally on the face and the meridians, right? So that's one. Now the lung meridian goes all the way down to the wrist. Well, beyond the wrist, right to the finger. But practically speaking, you could put the lung point here. Okay. And whoops, where's my other one? Here we go. So you could put, oh, my arm went away. There we go. It's hard to see. It's on the palm side. Okay. Underneath the thumb. Okay. Right about here. So lung. Now the other, if you want to get fancy, a little bit fancier, you can put the tan on the lung area. Okay. This is like lung 7, 8, 9-ish. Yeah. So we'll say lung 7. Okay. Lung 7, lung 9 area. Okay. Really is for both. And on the right, again, it's a little bit fancier. You can put the white on its complementary meridian, which is large intestine. Okay, it's part of the metal energy, like 5 elements. We've got earth, we got metal, water, wood, and fire. This is part of the metal element, which is lung and large intestine. So large intestine 4 is the ideal point. So that's where large intestine 4 is. It's on the right side, right on right hand and left. Okay, this is my right hand. So you're going to put lung 7 or 9 here on the left, white on the right, on large intestine 4. Why large intestine 4? Well, a couple of reasons. First of all, it's complementary and on the same train track, if you will, as the lung 7. The second reason is because large intestine 4 has very powerful actions. Number one is to clear heat and pain from the head. And people have used it for like toothaches and all sorts of headaches, all sorts of anything in the anything in the head area, including pain, congestion, toothaches, whatever. You can use large intestine 4. So we're kind of doing double duty. We're supporting that large intestine metal channel, as well as saying, hey, let's clear some heat and address this whole area with large intestine 4. Now, if is it wrong to do both sides large intestine 4 if you have a headache? No, you can use both sides large intestine 4, or you can do what we're doing right now, which is a yin yang pair. Yin is the feminine or negative polarity. Yang is the positive masculine polarity. So the tan patches are yin, goes on the left side of the body in general, and the yang is the white and goes on the right side of the body. So just to, reiterate all of that is that we're treating locally the sinuses. Okay. So here I got Eon, I got Ice Wave here. And then we're using the energy enhancer patches to support the lung, large intestine meridians. And that is more of kind of a foundational thing. Now, there are fancier protocols. If you have a tendency to get a lot of congestion, you may want to take a look at the micro training that I did on dampness and the acupuncture points you can use for dampness. And you can alternate that with the lung and large intestine if you want. If you want to do the spleen 9 and other areas on the leg, which help with that overall foundational dampness. Now, some people tend to be damp. Okay, so there are some people that have swelling legs, varicose veins, lots of congestion, phlegmy, sometimes even tumorous stuff can be, damp. So for those people, yeah, you may want to use spleen 9 and other spleen, stomach 40, or other points to release the damp, alternating with this, combination in the hand. And just as, again, a little bit more complex, but not absolutely necessary, because we're mostly talking about symptoms here, is I don't have the package in front of me, but if you want to use the X39 for the stem cell enhancing patch in supporting sinus symptoms, the best place I think to use them is to put it on the gut. Yes, so 2 finger widths below the belly button, 2 or 4 finger widths below the belly button. That's conception vessel 4 or 6. If you put the X39 there, what I have noticed is that in my holistic medical experience is that most people, well, pretty much all people, but most people that have chronic sinus allergy kinds of symptoms actually have an imbalanced gut. So their intestines are extra permeable. Some people call that leaky gut symptoms, things like that. So it's not really a diagnosis, but so the X39 being a stem cell enhancing patch and being that those points are near the gut actually help your body repair itself through stem cells. And when I was in practice, now that I'm retired from my medical office practice, acupuncture practice, what I noticed was with the X39 that gut healing, self-healing happened a lot faster with that stimulation of the X39 patch. So if you want to get fancy, you can just patch locally first, and then you can patch, the channels. And then for that foundational healing the gut, which is a big contributor for allergies, you want to heal the gut. So in order to support yourself in self-healing the gut, you can go ahead and put the X39 anywhere in the belly, but the points in the brochure, 2 finger widths below the belly button or 4 finger widths below the belly button, are excellent points. And so that way we can kind of, self-treat over time to help that gut heal faster, and you'll have less, allergy symptoms. Now, the other thing I want to share with you, just a little tip as far as healthy lifestyle. I'll put these back here. I don't know if it'll stick. There we go. Um, is that anytime you see chronic stuff here, heal the gut. Okay. So holistic doctor hat on for a moment. How do we do that? Well, the simplest, safest thing for me to recommend, since I'm not your doctor, is to avoid genetically modified foods, which can cause inflammation in the gut. So, corn, soy, canola oil, sugar beets, so sugar made from sugar beets, those are just cottonseed oil. Those are just examples of things in America that are genetically modified to a great degree, soy in particular. In other areas of the world, not so much. The other thing, too, is, for example, if you're eating non organic wheat, a lot of people think they're gluten sensitive, but what actually has happened is that non organic wheat has been sprayed with Roundup. And that toxin can cause damage to the gut. So you may or may not have actual gluten allergies or celiac disease per se. You may have toxicity from the glyphosate in the Roundup. So you want to make sure that if you're going to choose to eat wheat, you know, you eat the organic, ideally sourdough, made the old fermented way, that kind of thing. So it's more digestible and easier on the gut rather than just the stuff, in the grocery store that's non-organic, non-fermented. Um, yeah, so that's one piece of advice. The other piece of holistic advice is that unless you're vegan or vegetarian, bone broth, organic bone broth, you can make yourself at home, or you could buy. It's like all the rage now because all the celebrities are into it now because they have very good skin and their bones and joints and everything are getting better. They feel younger, right? They look younger. So I am a big fan of the bone broth. And normally, how much? 1 to 3 cups a day. You can make it into a soup. I know a friend of mine who actually puts it in his smoothie. Now I have smoothie bone broth powders that I use that are vanilla and chocolate. He puts the plain in his. I'm like, okay, good for you, Gary. He might be watching this. So it's amazing. It's amazing. I actually, don't put bone broth in my smoothie. I put the bone broth powders that are flavored in it. Maybe it's not as good, but it's another way to get that bone broth gut healing proteins in there. So that's kind of like my simple, safe recommendation that I can make to pretty much everyone is, like I said, unless you're vegan or vegetarian, bone broth is incredibly gut healing. Stay away from the genetically modified foods, the stuff that's, sprayed with Roundup, so you can help heal your gut. And yeah, so I can take these off now, right? So that's really, really it for today. I hope this helps. Please post in the chat whether you are planning to try this out. I would love to hear. And also, if you're on one of, either the public Facebook page for the patch training team, give it a thumbs up and feel free to share. If you're on YouTube, also subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up if you like this, and also share it as well. Those are the public areas. This is streaming into some private groups as well. So if you want to share this, please go to the public page, the LW phototherapy page, or YouTube, where you can share it publicly with everyone. And I'm just gonna, I think I put it in the description of the video, wherever it is, up, down, where all my micro trainings for LifeWave are housed, patchtrainingteam.com/micro training. And that will forward you to the YouTube playlist where you can take a look at everything that I've recorded in this series. And yeah, if you have some sort of symptom or an area of concern, that's a really great place to look. So that you can just look down the symptom list and see which one may pertain to you. Because I just make these periodically whenever I get inspired to make a video, maybe once a month, maybe twice a month. So, it'll help you guys. And I can't do one-on-one consults anymore, especially for non-team members, because I just don't have the time to do that. Oh my gosh, be up like for 24 hours doing that. Anyway, so this is my way of giving back, and also, helping my friends from all over, including across the pond, so they can get some help, and share this with their distributors, their customers, so they can get some symptom relief. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Bob. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you, Ravel. Yes, thanks for being here with me today. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.